guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Damian. I'm back with a Mr. Nightmare video for you guys today. This one is called 3 Creepy True Student Horror Stories. So luckily I'm done school, but I work out of school, so I can't really get away from school. So, student horror stories definitely make sense. I feel like students are really messed up. Well, I mean, not all, obviously, but some people are really messed up just in general, so you never know who's who, really. So, always going to be careful. Starting. I skipped 1 minute 15 seconds because of an ad, so I'm not going to watch that. I'm going to give this a like because I already know I'm going to like it. This is from 12 days ago, so almost 2 weeks ago. And yeah, honestly, why does it keep doing that to me? Can you not do that? But yeah, I feel like school was a horror story for me, more so because of bullying, but nothing really else besides that. But yeah, anyways, let's dive on in.
I wasn't very social in college. I didn't get good grades.
Oh great, this is a college one too, which is where I work. Fantastic.
I wasn't in a frat. I didn't have a girlfriend. And I wasn't very involved in anything.
Damn, you're a loser. I'm kidding.
I wasn't a very happy kid. I'm not complaining though. I found a loyal girl who would never stop fighting for me in my late 30s. My life is good now. We live together with 2 cats named Blue and Raz.
I thought we're gonna say 2 kids, 2 cats. Okay, well that works too. That's fine. We got 2 cats too. You guys can't see her because the video's blocking it, but yeah.
Planning on proposing soon. Like I was saying though, I wasn't in a frat, so generic frat parties were kind of off the table for me. I still wanted to have fun though. I mean, who wouldn't? My friends Bryson and Ian were in the same boat. We spent most weekends killing time in Bryson's dorm. That being said, we took every chance we got when it came to parties. Most of the parties we were lucky enough to go to were off campus.
Beautiful view.
They weren't associated with any of the frats or the school itself. One time we actually drove over an hour just to go to a party. It's safe to say we were pretty desperate.
Yeah.
One Friday afternoon,
Same now.
Ian texted the group chat saying the girl he was talking to knew of a party not that far away. Ian tended to attract the strangest girls. I'm sure you know the ones I'm talking about. Bryson joked that he didn't want to go to some death metal, emo anime party, which I kind of agreed with. Ian was pretty adamant though, and convinced us that this would be a normal party. It's not like we had anything better going on. Bryson convinced his brother,
maybe do some schoolwork,
Chris, to be our designated driver. Chris didn't drink anyway, and said he'd be down for a party, so everything was looking good. As we were driving to the party, Ian started complaining about the girl he was talking to. He said she hadn't answered him in hours, which honestly wasn't too surprising considering the kind of guy Ian was. He was actually pretty torn, and said he was having second thoughts about even going, which seemed like an overreaction. We were already 30 minutes deep, so we weren't just gonna...
That's honestly me, like with people, I'm like, oh my god, it's been 5 minutes and you haven't answered me yet. Like, why don't you just tell me that you hate me? Like, that's basically me. Plus my friend also like RDRs me all the time. We're best friends, but then he RDRs me all the damn time.
Go turn around and go home. We told him to suck it up and not let it ruin the night. After a few more minutes, Ian said Callista's profile disappeared from his phone altogether. We broke it to him that he had been blocked and she probably decided to go to the party with someone else.
Damn.
He pouted for the rest of the drive. When we reached the party, we instantly knew we'd made the right choice. The house was massive, especially compared to the rest of the houses on the block. Ian didn't want to go in just yet, saying he needed a buzz to take his mind off the situation.
Fair.
Bryson and I didn't object to drinking, so we told Chris to park a little further down the street so we could pregame outside the car. We killed a few of the beers we had brought with us and watched as people entered the house in droves. It honestly looked like a pretty lit party. Once Ian was satisfied with his buzz, the 4 of us started making our way over to the house.
That's beautiful.
As soon as we stepped inside, I could tell something was off. For starters, all the lights were on. Like, there was no ambient lighting throughout the entire house. Just the bright overhead lights that you'd expect to be off at a college party. Most of the people there were very nicely dressed. Not what you'd expect people to wear at a rowdy party. The scene looked more like a fancy dinner party than anything else. But maybe that's what it was. After all, we didn't really have any details about what we were walking into.
That's true.
We didn't look too out of place, but the clothing differences were definitely noticeable. The music was also bizarre. They weren't playing trap or hip-hop or any of the usual party music. Instead, they were playing some kind of ethereal, almost druggy music. I'm not really sure what genre it was or how to describe it.
Druggy
None of the
music?
songs had any words, just instruments.
Oh.
I guess it wasn't bad per se, but it was odd. My friends and I looked at each other, trying to make sense of what was going on. We drilled Ian for details, but he said he was just as clueless as we were. The four of us walked around a little, exploring the house. There was alcohol everywhere, so we helped ourselves. A few minutes in,
If like at a party, I'd be way too nervous just to grab something because like any kind of drink, just because, again, like you don't know if someone put something in it or not that someone would drug it, but it's like you never know nowadays, right? Like you just never know. Like I said earlier, people are weird, and plus you are in a horror story for a reason, right? So I mean, I'm not wrong.
I started noticing people catching my eye and then immediately looking away. It was actually so apparent that I started wondering if there was something in my teeth. I figured I was just getting looks because of what I was wearing, which did make sense to me at the time. The four of us were honestly having a good time, despite the weird atmosphere. Actually, I take that back. Chris was pretty bored and said he was going to go smoke in his car.
Yeah.
I figured it was because he didn't have a drop of alcohol in him. A few minutes after he left, a group of girls approached us. We definitely weren't super confident, so getting approached was a new thing. The three of them started flirting with us almost immediately, like it wasn't even subtle. They joked about an entrance fee, which I thought was funny until I saw that they were being serious. They were holding a bottle of tequila, which we definitely weren't going to turn down. Without much thought, not wanting to appear uncool, we swigged the bottle. After that point, the six of us stuck together, drinking, talking, and occasionally dancing.
Okay.
It was going really well. At one point, I noticed a weird mark on Tina's neck. It was a short but solid green line that looked like it had been drawn on in Sharpie. The line was pretty thin, and I probably wouldn't have noticed it had I not been standing so close to her. I debated asking her about it, but decided against it to avoid potentially offending her. It might have been a birthmark or something like that. Once I had
Green
seen
birthmark?
it, though, I couldn't unsee it. It just looked so unnatural, and green of all colors. Who wears green makeup? It couldn't have been a makeup smear. I decided to let it go and continued flirting with her, wondering where things would end up. Eventually, I saw Bryson and the girl he was with begin to wander off upstairs, which I was happy about. Pretty soon afterwards, I noticed Ian and his girl also walking towards the stairs. I was nervous to ask Tina anything suggestive because I didn't want to mess anything up. Despite the alcohol, I could feel myself getting really anxious and sweaty, so I told Tina I was going to the bathroom and that I'd be right back. The only bathroom I could find was occupied, so I stood outside the door and waited. Eventually, the door opened, and a really tall, older-looking guy wearing a white button-down and linen pants stepped out. I rushed into the bathroom, and he bumped into me. I turned around and kind of expected him to apologize, but he just stood there, staring at me. It was the strangest thing. He just stood there with this blank look, sizing me up. I was about to say something when I noticed what was on his neck. The same green line I had seen on Tina. It was literally identical. Against my better judgment, I asked him what his problem was. He smirked and shook his head before saying, "Who invited you?" Not knowing how to answer that, I blurted out Callista, the girl that had stood up Ian. He chuckled and looked up, like he knew who I was talking about. He looked back at me, his smile completely gone now. In a low voice, he repeated her name before gesturing around the party. "Do you see Callista here?" I didn't know how to respond to that, so I just slammed the door in his face, wondering what the hell had just happened.
Damn.
I couldn't get over what he said or that green mark on his neck. Part of me regretted not asking him more questions about what the hell was going on. I left the bathroom, looking for him. I walked past more people that eyed me up like I didn't belong. I didn't care, though. I was going to find my friends and drag them out of here. While wandering around the party, I couldn't stop thinking about that green mark. I started looking close.
Like it obviously does mean something, right? I just don't know what that would mean exactly, but it obviously means something.
At people's necks, trying to see if anyone else had a mark on their neck. To my horror, I actually saw two more people with the green lines on their necks.
It obviously
They
indicates
were all
something.
the same color, same length, same thickness.
It means something.
Same everything.
They're all part of some like, I don't know, some kind of like, obviously some kind of group or something. They're obviously some kind of part of some kind of group, but is it a bad group, like a gang or something? I don't know.
Freaky. I kept looking for that guy, all the while analyzing people's necks. Most people weren't marked up, but I kept catching glimpses of green lines on various people's necks. I was starting to freak out, so I made my way to the stairs, looking for my friends. Thankfully, as I was walking up the stairs, Bryson and Ian were walking down. I urged the two of them to follow me, and I brought them to an empty hallway so we could talk. I briefly told them about my theory and said we had to leave immediately. They burst out laughing and told me I was just drunk. Bryson told me I was just jealous because they had hooked up and I didn't. I asked him
Yeah, that's what I was figuring, because they went upstairs. I was like, yep, they're doing that.
where his girl had gone, and he told me she had instructed him to meet back upstairs in 20 minutes. Ian said his girl told him the same thing. There was no reasoning with these two. They were riding the high of a hookup. I told them to follow me and that I'd prove that people had strange marks on their necks, but they weren't budging. Just when I was about to give up, Ian turned to the side, and what I saw was actually horrifying. There was a thin line on his neck, only this one was red, not green.
Oh,
I
shit.
practically screamed at him, which actually got them to listen to me. I then inspected Bryson's neck. There was a red mark on his too. Ian told me to relax and that it was probably just a makeup stain, but Bryson started to believe me. I told them we were leaving, and Bryson and I turned to find the door. Ian still wouldn't leave, saying he wanted to meet back up with the girl. Just then, a random guy walked past us, eyeing each of us up separately. He didn't say anything, but paused long enough for us to notice the green line on his neck. That was it. Bryson and I rushed for the door with Ian close behind. I felt like everyone there was staring at us as we left, but no one moved to stop us. We ran to Chris's car and told him to drive.
A beautiful house, though, damn.
As we were leaving, both Ian and Bryson's phones started blowing up. Those girls were asking why we had left. How could they have even known that? They weren't even around to see us leave. My friends blocked the girls. Everyone I tell this story to has their own crazy theory about what happened that night. I really don't know what to think about it, but I don't think I want to know what might have happened had that guy not tipped me off.
That was definitely like an interesting one. I don't even know about like what to say about that one, to be honest with you guys, because to me it's kind of like, just seems like, I don't know, like a really creepy, some kind of obviously group that probably isn't good. They're all like looking at them like they don't belong. Like, I don't know. That one was definitely kind of weird. That one was definitely kind of odd. I don't know if it's like a horror story. It's nothing really happened, right? But it's like, that's definitely kind of like freaky, kind of like has you on edge. So I kind of get that.
I'm a graduate student studying civil engineering at Purdue University. I actually started a few months ago. I was in a good place, all things considered. Classes were going well, I made a couple friends, and the apartment I found was decently priced.
Okay.
The landlord was pretty sketchy, though. I had a car and lived pretty far away from campus, but I liked driving. The only downside, it was a sketchy part of town, but I didn't care much about that. I'm a guy in my mid-20s, so I figured I could handle myself. Yeah, things were a little boring, but I was there for a degree and not a party.
Yeah.
Everything was pretty normal, until the day my backpack got stolen. I had left it on a table in a random hall to go to the bathroom like an idiot. By the time I got back, it was gone.
That happens all the time. People are so stupid. They just leave their shit behind thinking, no one's gonna take it. That someone's gonna take it, you idiot. Come on now.
That specific lecture hall didn't have cameras, so there was literally nothing I could do. I was more annoyed than anything. My wallet, keys, and laptop were in there.
Oh my
I
god.
had to cancel my cards and get new ones, report my keys missing to the landlord, and start looking for a replacement laptop.
And all that because you had to go to the washroom without your bag. Just take your bag with you, the fuck? Put it in a secure area. Put it in a locker. Put a lock on your locker and lock it.
It was a whole thing. It sucks, but things happen. It wasn't until a few days later that I realized the situation was 1,000 times worse than I had anticipated. I drove home from campus one evening to find a handwritten note slipped under my door. I figured it was just a reminder from my landlord about something, but I was dead wrong. When I opened it up, it just said, "I see you." No name, no signature, just those 3 words.
Oh, fuck that, bro. Fuck Mo. Fuck no, bro. Oh my
I
god.
instantly put 2 and 2 together. Whoever had stolen my backpack had gone through my laptop somehow and figured out where I lived. That was terrifying enough, but just then I had a thought that was so much worse. Whoever had stolen my backpack had
your
my
keys.
apartment keys.
Yeah, had your
I
keys.
felt my skin starting to itch, and I looked over my shoulder, half expecting to see someone there. I ran into my apartment and slammed the door shut. I had a deadlock, so even if someone did try to break in, they wouldn't be able to get past that. Over the next week, I got more notes, all handwritten. They weren't long, just weird phrases like, I know what you did, or watch yourself. At that point, it was really starting to freak me out. I had never done
I like watching you. Oh my god.
anything wrong, really, but if someone had gone through my laptop, who knows what they could have found. I really didn't know what to do. Would going to the police even help? I figured I'd wait it out a little longer, hoping whoever was messing with me would get bored. One night, I was getting ready for bed when I noticed something. It was dark outside, and my blinds were half closed, but I could have sworn I saw a flash, like someone took a picture of me. I quickly pulled the blinds down, but my heart was racing. There was no one there. Things didn't stop there. I started noticing small things around my apartment, things being moved. At first, I thought I was just being careless. My shoes would be in a different spot, or my coat would be draped over the chair instead of hung up. It was little things that I could explain away if I really tried. But then, one day, I came home to find my bedsheets stripped off and my room completely turned upside down.
Whoa.
My dresser drawers were pulled out, my books scattered across the floor. It looked like someone had torn through the place. I called the cops, of course, but they didn't do much. No forced entry, nothing stolen, so there was not much they could do, apparently. I asked my landlord to change the locks, but he said it would take at least 2 days to get someone out. I begged him to make it happen sooner, but he shrugged it off, saying it wasn't an emergency. I felt betrayed.
Yeah, it's not an emergency, yeah, but it will be soon once you find me dead in my frickin' room.
How in the world could this guy not think that this was an emergency? I kept pressuring him to do something, but he eventually stopped answering, no matter what I said. That was literally yesterday as I'm writing this. I barely slept at all last night, even though I was safe with the deadlock in place. I'm thinking of changing the locks myself, but I'm not sure how I could even do that without causing expensive damage. I called out of all my classes this morning because I'm afraid to leave my room. I'm still here, writing all this down. I'm prepared to confront whoever it is if they come back. I'm sure if they went through my laptop, they would know my class schedule. Maybe I'll hide somewhere and get the jump on them if they try to enter while I'm supposed to be at class. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll give an update when I can.
And literally all that because you forgot your bag somewhere. When I go to the gym, I lock my shit. When I go somewhere, I have my bag on me. You know what I mean? Like, just keep your shit with you. It's your shit. Why would you leave it? Especially your laptop. To be fair, there was one time when I was in college, actually. Like, that little building that I was in, it was basically empty. There was nobody there. I had, like, my laptop, everything out, my computer work open. Just like the other you guys can't see my laptop, but everything was open. It was all, you know, it was all there and everything. My bag was there. I left it for like 1.5 minutes. Nothing was taken, obviously, but the building was empty. So I was like, I looked around, the building was empty. It was like a Sunday. The college is always dead on the weekends. So I was like, no one's here. I'll just run to the washroom quick, and then it was fine. But that's the only time I really did, only because I knew no one was around. Yes, someone could have easily walked by and probably took something, but I mean...
I've been having an ongoing issue that I can't keep to myself anymore. I had just broken up with my boyfriend of 2 years, Ben.
Sorry, what's this okay, Jessica, okay.
Broken up with
At first I was like, wait, what?
my boyfriend of 2 years, Ben. It wasn't a bad breakup, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah, it's a
We'd been
breakup.
arguing for months, and it was obvious things weren't going to work out. So, when we finally ended things, I thought it was for the best. I blocked him on everything, and that was that. I go to Temple University, and I live in this small apartment near campus. It's on the second floor of an older building, which means I can hear pretty much everything going on outside. A few days after the breakup, I started hearing strange noises at night. Not like regular city sounds, these were different. Footsteps, quiet shuffling, like someone was just outside my window.
Ben is stalking you.
At first, I figured it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Eventually, though, I came to terms that it was probably my ex. The reason I wasn't really freaking out was because Ben was one of the sweetest and most harmless guys there was. I mean that in a nice way, like he'd never do anything drastic or anything to hurt me. I figured he just missed me, so I decided to let it go. Eventually, he'd get bored. Plus, I was already stressed from the breakup, and I had this huge group project due. That project is actually a huge component to this story. I was the one responsible for editing the project and sending it to our professor. I worked on it all night, making sure everything was perfect. I emailed it just before midnight. Relieved to have it done, I went to bed, trying not to think about all the other things going wrong in my life. The next day in class, we were supposed to present the video. My professor plugged in his laptop and pulled up the file I'd sent. I was nervous, but I was also kind of proud of what we'd done. I had a lot of experience with Adobe products, and I knew our video was probably a cut above all the other groups. And then the video started playing, and my stomach dropped. It wasn't our project. Instead, there was this grainy video of someone wearing a scream mask. The person wasn't just sitting there, they were talking. They were saying horrible things about me, my professor, the government. It was disgusting. I don't even want to repeat what was said. That's how sick it was. My professor let the video play out a little longer than he should have, probably because he was also in shock. When he did pause it though, his face was pale. I was frozen in place. I have never been so mortified in my life. I was literally frozen. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't. I could barely breathe. I felt hundreds of eyes on me. The rest of the class was staring at me. I knew what they were thinking. After the most painful seconds of my life, I snapped out of my humiliation and burst out into tears before running out of the lecture hall. I felt a panic attack coming on. I debated going home, but I knew I'd definitely get expelled if I just left. Reluctantly, I waited outside the building for the class to end before approaching my professor. I basically pleaded with him that I had no idea what happened, that I was positive I had sent the right video. He decided to hear me out and confirmed that 2 videos had been sent. The first one was my project's, and the more recent one was the one he played in class. Clearing things up at the university took a lot of time and hassle, but I was eventually able to do it.
Okay.
I won't bore you with the details. Nothing was going to erase the humiliation, though. It was also clear that my email had been hacked, which was a much bigger problem. I changed my password and thought I had just gotten super unlucky. That's when things got worse. Not 1 week later, I woke up to being logged out of Snapchat. That only happens when someone else logs in, which meant I had gotten hacked there too. I don't even want to think about what they found. There was a lot of stuff on my Snapchat I don't feel comfortable talking about.
Oh, please, we all know what's on there.
I called the police, told them everything, and to my surprise, Ben agreed to let them question him. The police were able to confirm that Ben wasn't behind any of it. He did, however, admit that he posted my private information on some online forum right after we broke up. He swore he never posted any of my passwords, but my passwords were easy to guess, and like an idiot, I used the same password for everything. The police told me that there wasn't much they could do. Ben wasn't responsible for the hacking. That's when the full gravity of the situation hit me. Someone else had basically all of my private information. They could probably blackmail me. I changed my passwords immediately, but it might have been too late by then. A few weeks went by and nothing happened. My best guess is that whoever was tormenting me realized I had gotten the police involved and didn't want to risk being caught. I thought that was the end of it. Of course, it wasn't. One day, some random person added me on Snapchat, which wasn't too unusual. When I added them back, though, they started sending me pictures of me. I'm sure you can guess the types of things they were sending. I blocked them before they could threaten me, which I'm sure they were about to do. I burst into tears. I've never felt more helpless in my life. For about a week, random profiles would add me on Snapchat. I knew it was the same person, and I never accepted their ads out of fear that they would blackmail me or ask for money. This has been ongoing for about a week now, and I don't know what to do. There's literally no evidence or any way I could track this person. The police don't have enough information to get involved, and it's not like they could do anything anyway. The worst part is they literally know my address and whatever else about my personal life. If I keep ignoring their Snapchat ads, they might do something drastic. They've already lurked outside my apartment. I wouldn't put it past them to go further. I'm praying that they get bored and just quit. For any young ladies listening, be careful about what kind of pictures are on your phone. I don't know if this will ever end.
That was actually really scary because, again, like, you don't know who has your information. I think what it said, the ex posted some stuff on a forum, but he never gave any passwords. So And maybe he's lying about it, but it's like, bro, see what I mean? Like, all you have is a stupid ex, and then they fuck up your life like that. Like, obviously depends what happened. Like, if the girl cheated on him and then he did that, I mean, I guess that's not that bad. Like, I guess you kind of had it coming. But at the same time, it's like, you shouldn't do that, you know? Like, you should, I don't know. Never quit making videos, 100%. If you have a scary Halloween experience you'd like to share, potentially be featured in a video, please email me. They didn't do anything because it was stolen. Wasn't the laptop and the keys, etc. stolen? If someone stole all my shit like that, I'd be furious. Don't leave your shit behind. That first one was fucking insane. I love ambiguous? Yeah, ambiguous horror like that. Yeah, that was the first. Yeah, that was the first one about the whole party and then the green mark thing. The first one was quite confusing as to why those people in the party had thin green marks on them, possibly a cult. Yeah, I was thinking like a cult or a gang. I don't know. I forgot. Yeah, cult makes more sense. Thing which also explains the red thin mark on Tyler's friends as potential sacrifices. Oh damn, shit, that's kind of scary. The stupidity of some of the people in these stories is astounding. What do you mean you hear someone outside your house and you just assume it's your ex and that's just fine somehow? Or leave your backpack unattended and when it obviously gets stolen with your keys, you take no action whatsoever, just hoping Jesus will take the wheel. Like, oh my god, dude, like you're asking to get murdered in your sleep. That is very true. It's especially your keys and your wallet and like your purse and like your whole basically life. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, take better care of your shit. Like, yes, I've lost my wallet once, but I don't actually lose it actually. I thought I did, but I went to the dollar store, I put my wallet back in my coat, and then for some reason I never use that coat anymore because, like, okay, I know. So I was wearing my work coat, I went to the dollar store to buy some stuff, I used my wallet, whatever, I put it back in my coat pocket, and at first I thought someone stole it or something, but obviously that wasn't the case because it was found like 8 months later, after I got a new wallet, after I got all new cards and everything. It was hell. So, yeah, it was hell. So basically, for some reason, I stopped using that jacket because I guess I had to use a different work jacket. You're probably thinking, what do you mean different work jacket? Don't worry about it. Basically, I wore this jacket that I wasn't supposed to wear, and then they made me switch to another jacket. So for some reason, I left that jacket at work, and then I just left it hung up for a while. I forgot it was mine. So of course, I didn't look in the pockets or anything. My wallet was in it the entire time for 8-9 months, just chilling in that room. Literally just right there. I was like inches away from it at one point at the, when it was hung up. I was there many times and I just didn't know it was there, but it was there the whole time and I called everyone. Oh my god, my car, I told the police and everything that my wallet was potentially stolen and missing, and that was a stressful time. Anyways, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just that I didn't actually lose it. My phone I lose all the time in the sense of like at home. I don't really lose it out in public. I don't really lose anything out in public. And I better knock on wood because I said that, so. Anyways, let's read some more comments. In the first story, it sounds like an elite hunting club, like in the movie Hostel. The people with green are hunters, and the guys with reds are the prey. Or a human trafficking ring. It's kind of scary, bro. The party story had me on edge. The strange atmosphere, eerie green marks. Yeah, so it was definitely kind of scary, but it wasn't like horror, like terrifying. It was just kind of like suspenseful and odd and eerie. We're still gripping. Definitely one of the most unique party experiences I've ever heard. I was expecting them to say that someone was gonna like chase them out with a gun or something, or I don't know. I don't understand that. The story if the guy was the most harmless person possible. Why did you immediately block him on everything once you broke up? Yeah, I don't like people. I was gonna mention it, but I was like, yeah, it's fine. But people that block everyone that like after a breakup, like there's no need to block everyone, or not everyone, but block them on everything. Like why? Like, if you ended off on horrible terms, okay, sure, block them, whatever. But if you're on good terms, why block them on everything? Like that just sounds so dramatic. I feel like girls do that all the damn time. Like, oh, I'm just gonna block you on everything. Why? If there's a reason to, sure, but why? If there's no reason to, why are you doing it? I'm assuming the breakup was on good terms, not to mention how would you still think he is so innocent if you let your private information everywhere. Exactly. Bro went to a Diddy party.
As we were leaving, both Ian and Bryson's phones started blowing up.
Damn. I'm in Florida right now with the hurricane, and this is the best time to listen to Mr. Member video. Hope everyone's stay safe. being a student is a horror story itself. I'm not reading all that. The first story sounds like he's still on a daylight party. I don't know what day parties are. I've obviously heard of it and I know what's going on, but second story, I have to give the landlord. I'd have given the landlord something to feel urgently about. The fuck. Okay, last comment. Or two more comments. The guy in the first story walks right into a cult. Story 1. I gotta admire the guy who gave them a hint. He's a real one for helping them not join a cult. 2. We're not gonna need an update on this man. Well, what was number 2 again? Oh yeah, the backpack. Oh, basically saying that he's gonna die. Oh, we're gonna need an update on this man. I thought it said we don't. Okay, sorry guys. I'm still waking up apparently. Story 3. Hears footsteps on the second floor. Suspects it's her ex-boyfriend, has been leaking private information. Still thinks he's the sweetest guy. Yeah, I guess you just never know people, to be honest. Even if you date someone, you may not know the person as well as you think you do. Because I have friends of like 7, 8, 9 years, and it's like, do I really know them? I hope I do, but do I? I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, comment down below. Be sure to subscribe to myself and Mr. Nightmare. Turn on post notifications. And yeah, definitely comment down below with what you guys thought of each story. Do you guys have any student horror stories besides being a student? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces. Peace.